Hello, this is SK Williams, and I am a few days late on this topic, but I'm not a very big YouTuber, so I don't expect that many views anyway. But today I would like to discuss Jeremy Hambly, also known as the Quartering, who was recently assaulted at a convention for gamers. I believe it's called Gen Con, where someone wearing a rainbow-colored wife beater simply assaulted him, and the person was later identified as the owner of another gaming company. I shan't mention his name because currently, at least at the time of this recording, it is still an allegation and no formal charges have been pressed. But it's rather easy to find out who has been accused. And I may do a follow-up video on this one once a formal charge has been levied. In fact, I intend on doing 2 more videos on the assault on the Quartering to give my thoughts. But for right now, I am simply going to say this, and this is not a very long video. I abhor the use of violence in order to effect political change, and I especially despise violence being used against those with whom you simply disagree. Once one resorts to violence, once one thinks it's okay to employ a physical assault, one has already told the world that what you stand for is the absolute authoritarian ideal that others must agree with you or be punished. Most people don't know my political views on YouTube because my channel is new and I haven't really discussed it. Well, new is probably not the best terminology for the channel. It's over a year old now, but it's not a big channel, I'm not well known, and I haven't had many years of establishment, but I am a monarchist. I do not view things like the American Revolution as heroic acts where people stood up against tyranny and gained freedom. I will discuss why in several other videos, including my David Barton video series that I'm currently working on. And I may do a dedicated series later on that, but for right now, I will just say this. No one makes this connection right now. No one sees the man who assaulted the Quartering as being like George Washington or like Samuel Adams. But he was. And I don't mean that as a complimentary way, like Jeremy Hambly is a Nazi and deserves being punched, and we need to punish those people for being evil. Again, I think what happened to Mr. Hambly was inexcusable and indefensible. I've listened to several of Mr. Hambly's videos, and even when I disagree with him, he is articulate, he is educated, and he is respectful. But a revolutionary decides that if they oppose what you stand for, or if you go against the way they think the world should be, it's perfectly okay for them to demonize you, to call you a tyrant, to call you a Nazi, to call you any sort of bad name, and to use that to dehumanize you, to use that to depersonalize you, to use that to justify assaulting you. This is why I do not look at history the same way most do. I do not see revolutionaries and rebels as heroes. They are nothing more than thugs that abuse people to gain their own favor. And you may disagree with me. And to be fair, I'm not giving a very good argument for it, because I'm leaving out any argument about why revolutions may be necessary, or various historical events, or even things that people may say to defend the American Revolution, which I have already told you I am critical of. But this video isn't about that, it's about the quartering. It may sound like I'm just using the quartering as an example, but I'm not. Mr. Hambly was assaulted by a man who no doubt claims to believe in American values, such as free speech. But he was assaulted because what Jeremy Hambly said, not what he did, but what he said, offended the man, and he thinks that people should not be allowed to say certain things. Free speech should only exist if it agrees with my perspective. Many people who voted against Donald Trump and who opposed him politically call him a Nazi, or a fascist, or a dictator, and think of those who supported him as wanting a dictatorship in America where our freedoms are stripped away, and imagine Donald Trump leading a new society in which your rights are removed. And yet they are the ones who wish to impose their views upon others using force. I didn't vote in the last United States election. I am an American citizen, but I didn't vote. And if I had voted, it wouldn't have been for Donald Trump. That's not to say I would have voted for Hillary Clinton. If I voted, I would have been forced to vote third party, which is one of the reasons the 2016 election was pointless for me, because if you vote third party, you are going to lose. But I had another reason not to vote, and that's that I don't believe in it. And I will go into my beliefs in another video in terms of polity and politics. But I will say this. Donald Trump is a man of many faults. And he is a man that I think should not have been president, because the conditions that created the presidency of Donald Trump will naturally lead to problems in society. But they should not lead to the very people who claim that Donald Trump should be stopped because he is a tyrant, to become tyrants themselves by physically assaulting those with whom they disagree in order to silence any opposing voices that you may hear. Donald Trump isn't the threat here. People who voted for Donald Trump aren't the threat here. The threat isn't from conservatives who think maybe we shouldn't allow children to transition from male to female, or who may not support gay rights. The problem is with people who do and see themselves as the champions of freedom, diversity, and free thought, the ones who see themselves as champions of tolerance, deciding that these views are not to be allowed, and deciding that they are justified in using force to impose their views. I am truly aghast by this turn of events. I give my full support to Jeremy Hambly. I hope he recovers well, and I hope he prosecutes this crime to the fullest extent of the law, for it is his rights he stands up for. I hold his attacker in nothing but contempt. Not only did he assault a man, he did so in the most cowardly way possible, shy of getting someone else to do it for you. He came up behind his back and sucker punched him, and when Jeremy was down, kept beating him. The man who attacked was a coward. A loathsome, vile, despicable coward. And a man who would strip you of your right to disagree simply because he does not think certain beliefs should be allowed. Often those who cry the loudest about freedom are those who would deny you freedom. I know I do not have a broad audience. I know many will not hear what I'm saying. But for those who do, I ask, will you please help oppose the use of violence to achieve political ends? Will you please champion a society where we do not punch people over disagreements? Will you please go to the quartering? Give Jeremy views, but you don't have to subscribe. I know his content isn't for everyone. I know that not everyone is going to agree with him, but at least listen to a few of his recent videos. Post comments of support to him. Give him that. And let the world know that this is unacceptable behavior. You can't just assault people. I'm uploading this video on a Saturday. I normally don't upload on the weekends, and if I do, it's usually something spiritual. But events in my life prevented me from making this video sooner. And in a way, this is spiritual. What kind of Christian society would allow this sort of behavior? And I know this isn't a Christian society and not everyone is Christian. How dare you push your religion on people? How dare you force your religion down our throat? Well, here's the thing. Christians are not punching people in the face to promote Christianity. I don't know the religion of the man who punched Jeremy Hambly. He may himself identify as Christian, but that wasn't what motivated the assault. And I think that maybe we should learn respect for others and moral judgment. I think that maybe it's time that we say no more to bullying and intimidation. This is why, incidentally, I am a monarchist. This is why I don't believe in democracy. A lot of people assume this means I myself think that people should be told how to live and have no rights and freedoms. Our society has taught us that democracy is about individual rights and freedoms, and that if we don't have democracy, we don't have that. But in my experience, democracy is nothing but allowing mobs to do what they want, and doing solely what the majority wishes. And unchecked, it leads to silencing any who go against a popular norm. I see monarchism not as a guarantor of freedom, but as something that freedom can flourish in more easily. But that isn't the point of this video. Even if you disagree with me on monarchism, I hope you agree with me that violence should not be employed simply because you've run into someone who you politically disagree with, or who has an opinion you don't like. If that person isn't physically threatening you in any way, you should not physically threaten them. I don't have much else to say, so I'm going to sign off now. I would like, before I do though, to quote from the Bible. Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall inherit the earth." It's time we become peacemakers and stop trying to destroy each other. It's time to stop hating. I'm going to end this now. Thank you. God bless. And goodbye.